The perfect organism. That's what they called it. You probably know the facehugger and the queen, but what about the terrors hiding in the expanded universe? Today, I'm breaking down every single Xenomorph cast and variant out there. Welcome to the LorePanda channel. I'm talking the canon films, the video games, the comics, even the weird non-canon mutations you've probably never seen. If it bleeds acid, it's on this list. The ovomorph, or the iconic egg, marks the beginning of the xenomorph life cycle and serves as one of the species' most insidious survival mechanisms. Standing approximately 70 to 90 centimeters tall, this leathery ellipsoidal egg can remain dormant for thousands of years, making it a perfect biological time bomb. The ovomorph functions as a living organism rather than a simple container, equipped with sophisticated sensors that detect movement, ground vibrations, and even the scent of potential hosts approaching. When prey comes within range, the egg's four-lobed apex unfurls like grotesque flower petals, releasing the facehugger contained within to launch itself at the unsuspecting victim. Ovomorphs are primarily produced by queens through their massive ovipositors, though solitary xenomorphs can create them through egg morphing, a horrifying process where living victims are cocooned and biochemically transformed into new eggs, but more on that later. The facehugger is the parasitic stage of the xenomorph life cycle, serving as the delivery system for the embryonic chestburster. This spider-like organism measures roughly 30 centimeters across, featuring 8 segmented legs and a powerful tail designed for a single biological function: host implantation. Upon detecting a potential host, the facehugger launches itself with surprising speed and accuracy, capable of leaping several feet or rapidly pursuing targets across surfaces. The creature's legs lock onto the victim's head with immense grip strength, while the tail wraps around the throat, cutting off air supply and forcing the mouth open. A tubular proboscis then extends down the host's airway to deposit the xenomorph embryo directly into the chest cavity, while the facehugger secretes a paralytic agent to keep the host unconscious and alive during the process. Like all xenomorph forms, it possesses highly concentrated acid for blood, making surgical removal impossibly dangerous. After 4 to 6 hours of implantation, it detaches from the host, crawls away and dies, having completed its sole purpose. The royal facehugger is a rare and specialized variant that implants queen embryos rather than standard xenomorph larvae. It operates identically to its standard counterpart, but this time the chestburster will mature into a queen rather than a drone or warrior, ensuring the potential establishment of a new hive. It's larger and it features enhanced armor plating and a more robust physiology. This variant has only been observed in limited instances, most notably in the special edition of Alien 3, though it has appeared in various expanded universe materials. The chestburster is the larval stage of the xenomorph. Gestation can vary wildly, from a few hours up to a full day, or even longer for a queenburster, after which this serpentine creature violently erupts through the ribcage, killing the host in the process. The chestburster appears pale and worm-like, with a partially developed head, small limbs or appendages, and already possesses the signature inner jaw and acidic blood of adult xenomorphs. The creature's growth rate is extraordinarily accelerated. Within just a few hours, it molts its skin and metamorphoses into a full-sized adult xenomorph. Its appearance varies depending on its host species, inheriting certain genetic traits through the xenomorph's DNA reflex ability. The cocoon is a newly established transitional stage, most explicitly depicted in Alien Romulus, 2024, that bridges the biological gap between the chestburster and the adult xenomorph. After emerging from its host, the larva builds a protective biomechanical shell, cocoon, around itself to undergo rapid and dramatic metamorphosis into its full-grown form. This process provides a more plausible explanation for the species' extreme size increase. Although undergoing transformation, the juvenile is not inert. It remains defensively lethal, capable of striking with its tail and spraying its acidic blood when threatened. Now let's examine how these creatures organize themselves once they reach maturity. Like ants, bees, or termites, xenomorphs operate under a sophisticated eusocial caste system, where each individual serves a specific function within the hive. The backbone of every xenomorph infestation. The drone is the most basic and common caste in the xenomorph hierarchy, serving as the foundation of any hive's workforce and strike force. Standing approximately 2.5 meters tall, with a total length of almost 5 meters including the tail, drones are characterized by their smooth, dome-shaped heads that distinguish them from the ridged-headed warriors. These versatile organisms function as scouts, hunters, and nest builders, using their own secretions to construct the distinctive biomechanical hive resin seen coating walls and structures. Drones typically operate alone or in small groups, employing hit-and-run tactics rather than coordinated assaults. Their primary objectives include capturing potential hosts for impregnation and dragging them back to the hive for cocooning, though they will kill when necessary. The drone from the original Alien film, often called Kane's son, and Stompy from Alien Isolation are notable examples of this caste. Despite being the worker class, drones possess formidable combat capabilities with their speed, strength, pharyngeal jaw attacks, and ability to spit acid. The debate over whether drones and warriors are separate castes or the same organism at different stages continues within the fandom, though recent media like Alien's Fireteam Elite treats them as distinct classifications within the hive structure. The warrior is the primary combat caste of the xenomorph species, serving as the hive's main military force and defensive unit. Standing 2.5 meters tall, warriors are distinguished from drones by their ridged, segmented head carapace rather than the smooth dome, along with a generally more aggressive physique and combat-oriented behavior. These creatures are specifically bred or evolved for warfare, tasked with defending the hive from threats, engaging in coordinated attacks, and eliminating anything that poses danger to the queen or colony. Warriors operate both independently and in organized swarms. They possess all the standard xenomorph abilities: incredible strength capable of tearing through metal, lightning-fast reflexes, wall-climbing capabilities, acidic blood, and the lethal pharyngeal jaw, but exhibit enhanced aggression and combat prowess. The runner is a distinct xenomorph variant born from quadrupedal hosts, most famously depicted in Alien 3, where it emerged from either a dog, in theatrical cut, or an ox, as in assembly cut. Unlike the bipedal human-spawned xenomorphs, the runner moves exclusively on all fours. This quadrupedal stance grants it exceptional speed and agility, making it one of the fastest xenomorph types and particularly effective at rapid pursuit and ambush tactics. Physically, the runner is more compact and streamlined than warriors or drones, with a sleeker head profile and a body built for explosive acceleration. It displays more animalistic and feral behavior, operating with reduced intelligence compared to its bipedal counterparts, but compensating with raw aggression and predatory instincts. The Praetorian is an elite xenomorph caste that serves as the royal guard and protector of the queen. Standing notably taller and bulkier than drones or warrior, Praetorians are distinguished by their heavily armored exoskeleton, larger crested head, and overall more imposing physique. Their primary biological function is defending the queen and her egg chamber, positioning themselves as the final line of defense against any threat to the hive's reproductive core. Their enhanced armor plating makes them resistant to small arms fire and environmental hazards, while their increased intelligence allows for more sophisticated defensive strategies. These creatures typically remain stationed near the queen rather than participating in standard hunting or host-gathering operations, though they will engage in combat when the hive faces serious threats. The queen is the apex of the xenomorph hierarchy and the biological foundation of any functioning hive, serving as both supreme commander and reproductive engine for the entire colony. Towering at 4.5 to 6 meters tall, with a massive crown-like crest extending from her head, the queen exercises control over the hive through a combination of telepathic communication and vocal shrieks, directing her subjects with tactical precision while personally defending the nest with devastating physical power. The queen's most crucial biological function is egg production through her enormous ovipositor, a large tubular organ attached to her lower body that continuously generates ovomorphs. When connected to this reproductive structure, she is supported by a biomechanical throne of organic struts resembling insect legs, rendering her largely immobile but heavily protected. The queen's unique physiology includes a segmented external mouth that can rotate nearly perpendicular to her head direction, enhanced armor significantly stronger than standard xenomorphs, and in some depictions, high-heeled protrusions on her feet. Her existence requires no fertilization. Like certain insect queens, she produces eggs independently, ensuring the species can establish colonies from a single impregnated host. The Empress is a largely theoretical caste mentioned in expanded universe materials, representing the highest evolution of xenomorph leadership beyond the Queen. While never appearing in the films, the Empress is described as overseeing multiple planetary colonies with numerous queens, each managing individual hives under her supreme command. An Empress often develops from an older, highly experienced queen who has survived numerous conflicts or bested rival queens in combat. No confirmed sightings, descriptions, or appearances of a queen mother exist in any official Alien media, making it one of the franchise's most enigmatic concepts. The idea of a queen mother suggests a biological entity of such immense scale and psychic power that she could coordinate billions of xenomorphs across countless worlds simultaneously. Beyond the core hierarchy, the xenomorph species has demonstrated remarkable adaptability by developing highly specialized castes for specific combat and survival scenarios. These variants, primarily documented in video games and expanded universe materials, showcase the creature's evolutionary flexibility when facing unique threats or environmental challenges. The worker or weaver is physically smaller than drones, standing only up to 2 meters tall, and exhibits a distinctly different appearance with sickly grayish-white coloration that sets it apart from the typical black biomechanical aesthetic of other castes. Most notably, workers possess a long pink proboscis, an elongated tubular appendage used to secrete the resinous substance that forms the hive's organic architecture. The worker's primary function is constructing and maintaining the nest structure, coating surfaces with the distinctive bioresin that creates the nightmarish cathedral-like environments seen in xenomorph hives. The sentry is the quadrupedal equivalent of the warrior caste. Physically, sentries retain the sleek quadrupedal body structure that grants them superior mobility across varied terrain, but display increased size and musculature compared to basic runners. Their role mirrors that of bipedal warriors, protecting hive entrances, patrolling established territories, and engaging threats before they reach the queen or egg chamber. The Prowler is a specialized xenomorph variant introduced in Aliens Fireteam Elite, representing a heavily armored evolution of the runner caste. This quadrupedal predator combines the runner's characteristic speed with significantly enhanced durability, featuring thickened armor plating and reddish-black coloration. The Prowler's signature attack involves explosive leaping strikes that pin victims to the ground, incapacitating them completely while the creature inflicts continuous damage. The Crusher is one of the most heavily armored xenomorph castes, with particular emphasis on its massively reinforced cranium. This biological battering ram compensates for reduced intelligence with devastating offensive capabilities centered around its signature charging attack. Featured prominently in both Aliens, Colonial Marines, and Aliens Fireteam Elite, the Crusher represents the xenomorph hive's answer to armored threats and fortified positions. The Spitter is a specialized ranged combat xenomorph variant that weaponizes the species' signature acidic blood into a long-distance projectile attack. While standard xenomorphs occasionally spit acid in close quarters, the Spitter has evolved dedicated biological mechanisms for sustained, accurate ranged attacks that can suppress and eliminate threats from considerable distances. One of the xenomorph's most terrifying abilities is its DNA reflex, the capacity to absorb and incorporate genetic traits from whatever species it gestates within. These host-dependent hybrids aren't just cosmetic variations. They inherit physical characteristics, behavioral traits, and even the strengths of their host species, often surpassing the original in raw power. The Predalien is a xenomorph born from a Yautja predator host. This hybrid inherits mandibles around the mouth, dreadlock-like sensory appendages on the head, and lighter tan or brown skin coloration. Predaliens are considered extremely rare and are viewed by the Yautja as abominations, an ultimate insult to their warrior culture. The variant seen in Aliens vs. Predator Requiem displayed a unique reproductive ability, using its inner mouth to directly implant multiple chestburster embryos into pregnant hosts, bypassing the need for facehuggers entirely. A rapid breeding adaptation explained as a method to quickly build an army before potentially evolving into a queen. The space jockey xenomorph, also known as the engineer xenomorph, is born from the massive humanoid engineers and represents one of the largest and most powerful xenomorph variants ever documented. Early depictions showed it with an elephant-like trunk extending from its face, though this was later understood to be inherited from the engineer's biomechanical suit rather than their actual biology, a detail corrected after Prometheus revealed engineers as humanoid beings. The aquatic xenomorph is a specialized variant adapted for underwater environments, introduced in the Aliens Colonial Marines comic series. Physically, aquatic xenomorphs are approximately the size of Praetorians, but they possess no legs, instead sporting a powerful tail fan that propels them through water with remarkable speed and agility. Their bodies display bluish coloration and shortened dorsal tubes compared to terrestrial variants, suggesting streamlining adaptations for hydrodynamic efficiency. These creatures most likely evolved through the xenomorph DNA reflex, with facehuggers implanting local aquatic organisms native to Bracken's world, resulting in offspring that inherited marine physiological traits. The flying xenomorph is a winged variant that has appeared sporadically throughout expanded universe materials, primarily in toys, comics, and supplementary media. It looks exactly how you would imagine. Ridley Scott's prequels introduced proto-xenomorphs, evolutionary predecessors born from the engineer's black pathogen and David's experiments. These creatures share the xenomorph's lethality, but are more organic and feral, lacking the iconic biomechanical aesthetic. While debated as separate species or true ancestors, they reveal the horrifying origins of the perfect organism. The protomorph, officially designated as Praetomorph, Plagiaris linesterus, is a genetically engineered predecessor to the classic xenomorph, created by the android David through a decade of experimentation on Planet 4. Using the engineer's black liquid pathogen combined with tissue samples from Elizabeth Shaw, deceased engineers, and neomorphs, David produced this intermediate species that bridges the gap between the organic neomorphs and the biomechanical xenomorphs. Two protomorphs appeared in Alien Covenant, showcasing a creature that closely resembles classic xenomorphs but with critical differences revealing its prototype nature. The protomorph life cycle differs notably from standard xenomorphs. Facehuggers require only seconds to implant hosts, and chestbursters emerge almost fully formed with darker skin and developed limbs rather than as serpentine larvae. The adult protomorph stands over 2.5 meters tall, with a distinctly more organic appearance, lacking biomechanical features, displaying exposed musculature and blood vessels, and featuring longer, thinner limbs with visible bone structure. The creature's skin combines black and gray tones. According to director Ridley Scott, protomorphs possess remarkable regenerative abilities, making them virtually indestructible and capable of recovering from crushing or dismemberment. Their movements were modeled after praying mantises and baboons, creating a more animalistic and aggressive behavior pattern compared to the calculated hunting strategies of mature xenomorphs. Now a bit about neomorph. Rather than using facehuggers, neomorphs reproduce through airborne spores released from small black fungus-like pods growing on the planet's surface. When disturbed, these pods release clouds of microscopic motes that enter hosts through any orifice, nostrils, ear canals, or mouth, infecting them through the bloodstream and causing a bloodburster to violently erupt from the host's back, spine, or throat, depending on entry point. Physically, neomorphs are pale white or beige with smooth, eyeless heads and lack the biomechanical aesthetic entirely, appearing far more organic and fleshy than xenomorphs. They possess no extendable inner jaw. Instead, their gums extend outwards similar to a moray eel when attacking. Their behavior suggests lower intelligence than xenomorphs, but compensates with relentless savagery and a documented need to consume flesh for sustenance. The Deacon is a xenomorph-related species that appeared at the end of Prometheus, representing one of the earliest documented results of the engineer's black liquid experimentation. This creature was born from an engineer host impregnated by a massive facehugger-like organism called a trilobite, which itself emerged from Elizabeth Shaw after she was infected with mutated human DNA. It emerged almost fully developed, using its sharp, pointed head to cut through the chest cavity of its dead engineer host. Physically, the Deacon features dark blue-gray coloration with an elongated, blade-like head. The creature also notably lacks a tail, and whether it possesses acidic blood remains unknown, as the single observed specimen was never encountered in combat. Alright, let's move on to other hybrid mutants. There's still a lot to cover. The newborn is a grotesque human xenomorph hybrid from Alien Resurrection, born from a queen that had been cloned with Ripley's DNA. Unlike any xenomorph, it possessed a pale, fleshy appearance with visible eyes, a partially human face, functional lips, and no tail. The red xenomorph, also known as the king alien, is a largely theoretical male reproductive counterpart to the queen, mentioned only in scattered expanded universe references and fan speculation. This hypothetical cast would possess reddish coloration and potentially serve a fertilization role, though this contradicts established lore that queens reproduce asexually without needing males. The white hybrid, also known as the hybrid king, is an artificially created xenomorph variant from the Aliens vs. Predator Deadliest of the Species comic series. They featured pale white or albino coloration, distinguishing them from standard black xenomorphs. The Ravager is a combat-specialized xenomorph variant featuring massive scythe-like claws capable of instantly decapitating enemies and slicing through starship hulls. This breed is heavily armored, making it resistant to most conventional weapons, and possesses regenerative abilities, allowing it to heal from injuries over short periods. The Palatine is a purely theoretical xenomorph caste speculated to exist between the Praetorian and Queen ranks. The concept suggests a transitional or intermediary form that a Praetorian might evolve into before fully transforming into a Queen. The Xenoborg is a cybernetically enhanced xenomorph from the Aliens vs. Predator 1999 PC game, functioning essentially as a biomechanical sentry turret. This slow-moving but heavily armored variant combines xenomorph biology with robotic components, featuring twin laser cannons mounted on its arms as its primary weaponry. The TechSec is a corporate-manufactured android xenomorph, originally designed as movie props before being repurposed for security operations. Similar to the Xenoborgs, TechSecs are equipped with twin shoulder-mounted cannons and long claws for combat. You ever heard about Jerry? Unlike other android xenomorphs designed purely as weapons, Jerry possesses a distinct personality. He smokes cigars, cracks jokes, and displays genuine emotion and humor. His primary function was to infiltrate xenomorph hives and eliminate real xenomorphs, which he does enthusiastically while trading banter. Sometimes I just pretend that he doesn't exist, just to sleep better. Now for the next part, we'll see some variants that never showed up in mainline Alien films. But these crossover experiments demonstrate just how adaptable the xenomorph concept is when paired with other iconic franchises. 3 xenomorph variants appeared in Mortal Kombat as playable variations. The Tarkatan xenomorph, spawned from the blade-armed Tarkatan species of Outworld, was the deadliest of the trio. It inherited retractable arm blades and specialized in aggressive close-quarters combat, dealing melee damage with its razor-sharp claws. The acidic xenomorph focused on ranged combat, weaponizing the species' corrosive blood into projectile attacks. The conjurer xenomorph utilized mystical abilities, incorporating outworld magic into its arsenal for supernatural ranged attacks and summoning capabilities. So yes, I should mention that personally, I don't welcome with great joy the fact that we possess such deep knowledge about these monsters, because it's precisely the terrifying unknown that gives these creatures their power. That's what makes Alien alien. However, there's so much fascination and imagination in this topic that I decided to share with you all of our knowledge about the xenomorphs. If you made it this far, please like this video, subscribe for more deep dives into sci-fi lore, and comment below. Which xenomorph variant do you think is the true perfect organism? Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.